What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami from the Toku and Animation News Network here at Fan Expo Denver 2024 with
Richard Fairgray, creator of Richard Sucks, a line of grown-up comics for dirtbags, gays, and ladies.
So what got you started into the comic industry?
I, as a 7-year-old kid, thought that comics didn't exist. I thought they were a thing that used to exist because, like, I'd seen them in TV. Like, Michelangelo read comics, Bart Simpson read comics. But I thought because we had animation, we didn't need it anymore. I'd never seen one in real life. And I decided if I could make comics, I'd be the only person in the world doing it, and I'd become a millionaire instantly. So I made a little 8-page comic called Ghost about a little ghost who was sad because he was invisible, so no one was scared of him. And so he had to go buy a ghost costume. I was blackmailing my school librarian at the time with this whole scam involving security tags on porn videos from the local video store to get free photocopying. I made 200 copies of this little mini comic, sold it at a school athletics day. Mostly I think where parents felt sorry for me, but who cares. Bought a buttload of Power Rangers. Like, I'm talking Megazord, Titanus, Dragonzord, everything. And I was like, I'm gonna do this forever, and I've literally never had another job. Like, I did some stand-up comedy for a little while, but never stopped doing comics. I was a substitute teacher for 3 days to help someone out, but that is it. Other than that, it's been comics now for 32 years.
Nice. And so you did it all to buy Power Rangers at the start?
To start, yeah.
That's awesome. And this was back during the first season?
It was Mighty Morphin. So I'm from New Zealand, and the first season of Mighty Morphin was all that ever screened there, because some kid like tried to play Power Rangers and hanged himself in a sweater or something. Not deliberately, like as in like some stunt went wrong and his sweater got caught in a tree. So Power Rangers had long been cancelled in New Zealand by the time I started buying the toys. So I was just like, I love these things and I can make my own episodes if I have the toys to do it.
So tell us about which comic series that you are currently working on.
At the moment I'm working on a bunch of things. Wet Cement is the thing I'm drawing right at the moment. It is a horror series about a boy who finds wet cement out front of his house, and when he writes his name in it, like we all would, the next day his name is gone and the cement is still wet, and he has to grow up knowing that something is wrong that no one else will ever notice. I have also ongoing the Ex-Wives of Frankenstein, which is about Elizabeth Frankenstein and the bride of the monster on the day they find out their husbands are alive, living as a gay couple in the Arctic and returning to the city as heroes of Reddit and Twitter. So it's a book that asks the question, what do you do if your ex is a monster but also popular online? Recently, I won the GLAAD Award for Best Graphic Novel with this. It's about two boys falling in love through comic books. That was released by Fan Expo Press. I have a book coming out next month called Frog Alley, about a boy who's too weird to exist. I have a book coming out called Middle 60, about a woman living the same 100 years over and over and figuring out which part is the meaningful one. I have Haunted Hill Volume 3 live now on Kickstarter. That's my surrealist soap opera about life in Hollywood. I have a new book coming out called The Lights That Guide You Home. It's a horror series about the changing of street lights from those beautiful amber ones to those horrible white ones, which makes everything brighter, but it makes the shadows so dark things start growing out of them. And I'm looking at my poster, my wall, to see if I've forgotten anything. Whale just came out. It's a ghost story about why ghosts wail. Horror Shorts is an ongoing collection of short horror stories that I do, including my 3-part series, Things That Go Dump in the Night, horror stories about eating and shitting. And sorry, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's kind of it. I got 26 books to put out. I've got 26 books coming out this year. Some of them are already out, but I've got to get 19 more books out before next April, because I'm working to get 300 books published before I turn 40, so that on my 40th birthday, April 19th, I can launch my 301st book, which is tentatively titled, assuming there's no legal issues, I'm only drawing Danny DeVito as the Penguin until I stop wanting to fuck him, an in-depth review of Batman Returns. I'm 146 portraits in and I still want to fuck him, so we'll see what happens.
I'm judging by all these titles that these are comics made for adults.
Yes. As I said, grown-up books for dirtbags, gays, and ladies.
Nice. What made you decide to want to go into that direction? So
I was working in kids books for a really long time. I had a couple of ongoing graphic novel series with different publishers. Black Sand Beach was kids horror. Cardboardia was like low-budget kids fantasy. And I have a lot of picture books out there. Gorillas in Our Midst, That's Not the Monster We Ordered, My Grandpa's a Dinosaur, If I Had an Elephant, Morgan the Morporks and the Moon, Sweet Penny and the Lion, Open in Case of Emergency, and another that I'm forgetting right now. Who cares? And so, like, I through my 20s and early 30s, like, that was the big money for me all the way. And then during COVID, I started writing this memoir. At the very beginning, my husband was in LA. I was in LA. My husband was in Canada. The border was closed, and I was like, I'm lonely and think I'm gonna die. I should get introspective. So I started working on this memoir because I've had kind of a real disaster piece of a life. And I got 3 chapters in, I showed it to my agent, and she said, Richard, if you ever show this to anyone, your career is done. So I thought, okay, I'll finish the memoir. It'll be like the masterpiece they find after I die. And then everyone will be like, I didn't know he had this in him. So I finished the book, and I put it in a drawer, kept doing kid stuff. started working on Haunted Hill in my spare time, but not really releasing it. And then at the end of 2022, my best friend Jim passed away. It's very sad, but he was also very old, so it's not a huge surprise. He was a real dirtbag like me. Like, we met through like webcam sex on a silverdaddies.com, and like then became really close friends. I'm now really close with his whole family. It's sort of weird, and I have to keep not telling stories about, you know, Ice Cube's up the butt. But he died, and he'd been a big part of Octopus, and he'd been really excited because I'd never put him in a comic before, and I was like, fuck, he never got to see it in print. I feel like shit. So my contract was up on Black Sand Beach. They were trying to renew for me to do a 5th and 6th book. The TV option had just been picked up by some people and things, so it was like everyone wanted me there, and I just looked at it and I said, I want to put out my memoir though. So I launched Richard Sucks last January, and I've put out 18 titles since then through that. And my career is fine, my agent is fired, I still have my TV deal, and I still get to feel like shit that Jim never got to see it, but that's fine. That's kind of part of the good comedy of comics, right? It's like, when they built that Harvey Pekar statue in Cleveland, I donated the top possible amount you could to the Kickstarter, and it meant to have my name on a plaque in the Cleveland Library, and I went to the library and my name is missing, and that is kind of the perfect analogy for comics. There's a statue of Harvey Pekar standing there going like this, and my name is missing, and it makes me feel absolutely the most included I could be.
Which book would you say you are most proud about?
It's tough. It's either, look, there's 3. Octopus, because it is like, I think perfect. I captured something. Like, it's 18 months of my life where I got divorced, stole a boat, tried to disappear at sea, got jerked off by a supervillain in a train station, although in my defense I didn't know who he was till I saw him in a documentary later, and he's dead now, so I win. Moved to Hollywood, met a nice man, and tried not to destroy everyone by turning into an octopus, which is a fear I've had my whole life. That one I really think is an absolute perfect encapsulation of everything I do, and I got to play a lot with the comic medium in it, and blah blah blah. 4-Color Heroes is the one that, oh, the other thing about Octopus, by the way, 3 times now, the 3rd one was yesterday. 3 different women have bought this book at cons, straight women have bought this book at cons, and come to me the next day to tell me that after reading my memoir, they've decided to leave their husband. So that's why I'm very proud of this one. Anyone who has this fear that gay creators are destroying straight marriage, I'm the one they're talking about, I think. So that one I'm incredibly proud of. 4-Color Heroes, because it won the GLAAD Award and I got a big ass trophy, which, by the way, obviously I was worried my trophy would be lonely, so I went on eBay and bought some Olympic gold medals to go with it. Those are like 30 bucks. A lot of athletes are not doing them. So that one I think is like touching a lot of people in a lot of good ways. You know, it's about what it feels like. There's so many negative queer stories from 10 years ago. There's so many incredibly positive, like toxically positive queer stories from right now. And I got to write a story that was in the middle, saying like, what does it mean when you're in a real situation where you're allowed to be someone's gay friend as long as you're never too gay? You know, like you can be the gay friend as long as you never bring a boyfriend to the party, because then your straight friends get uncomfortable. That's never explored in fiction, and 4-Color Heroes got to explore that world really well, and I fucking love it. And then Haunted Hill, because it's a surrealist soap opera about a sloppy lesbian dirtbag problematizing her way through every moment of life, and boys on the internet get mad at me because they don't like it when women talk in comics, and that makes me feel really good.
Do you have what social media links can people find you at, and where can they buy your books?
So kickrichard.com will take you to whatever my current Kickstarter is. I am going to be running them back to back from now until April, basically. I'm the only Richard Fairgray in the world, so I'm very easy to find. I'm on Twitter, even though it's a fucking hellscape, but I do technically very good jokes. I only got 9, okay, so Thursday, July 4th, Independence Day. I've been saving this joke for months. I posted the perfect tweet, 9 likes. That's disgusting. My perfect tweet for July 4th was, hard to believe in the year 2024, the Nathan's hot dog eating competition is still oral only. 9 likes. What is wrong with the world? So yes, follow me. I'm following my underappreciated Twitter account at Richard Fairgray. I'm on Instagram, but I don't really post there because it's just a horrible app to deal with. But at Richard Fairgray author, because I got locked out of the Richard Fairgray account because I forgot the password. I'm very bad at computers. And yeah, I'm easy to find. If you go to richardfairgray.com, you can actually see like 2,000 pages of free comics by me, just because I threw them up there because I got so many. But yeah, Kick Richard is the best. Kickrichard.com. Oh, and my other website, which I don't know what to do with yet. Currently, all it does, it redirects to a Google search for horses near me. So horsegoogle.org, a website I bought while I was drunk a couple of months ago. And it's just such a good title, and I don't know. I used to own mouth and butt stuff.church, and I let it lapse. So The only thing I do with the internet is get drunk and buy dumb shit, is what I'm telling you.
Sounds like you have a lot of fun with it, though.
Look, it's, you know, I can't sleep. I do 3 hours a night. You got to fill that time. You sit in bed because you think you're meant to, right? We're trained to think we're meant to like bed, but bed is a prison and sleep is practice for death. And so I sit there on my phone doing dumb shit.
Any final words for our viewers?
Oh man, I mean, like, look, we live in a world where they made a Crash Bandicoot energy drink. Like, I don't know if it's worth it anymore. No, my words for your viewers are: draw on paper, learn to draw properly, don't learn to undo with a computer. It'll make your work boring and mediocre, and ambitious failure is always more interesting than mediocre success.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Until next time, bye.